Hello everyone and welcome to our educational presentation. My name is Paul Arsov and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. The topic of our educational event today is conflict, make it work in a work environment. The topic touches on business, on psychology, on specifically on context resolution, but can apply in many other fields in addition to the business environment. It can apply to personal relationships and in general social interactions. But let's start right away and like working with conflict can feel intimidating. If let's imagine you're an engineering manager, then your job is to think about your team's well-being, ensure a good atmosphere, um, help people work together well. However, conflict will arise despite your best efforts. When it does, you may naturally worry about it affecting the mood or making your individual contributors miserable. So this makes sense because if it does, it makes it harder for everyone to do their job. But conflict is a natural part of communication, even of human nature. The trick isn't getting rid of conflict, it is learning how to make it work for you. The first thing we have to learn is knowing that conflict will help your team. Most people try to avoid conflict, some get anxious and try to resolve or ignore it as soon as possible. Others may feel nervous because they think having conflicts on their team means that they're a bad manager. Nothing is further from the truth. In reality, conflict is only negative when it erupts unexpectedly and disrupts team processes. So don't look at conflict as a problem, instead look at it as a gift. It brings up background tension that probably would have emerged sooner or later. With it out in the open, you can work towards a resolution and address the root causes. Once done, a team atmosphere will be healthier than before. For example, if an engineer tells me a task will take a month to complete, but I know it is a simple task that shouldn't take more than a few days, things could get heated. Or I could ask him or her why it would take so long. It might turn out that he wanted to do few more things along the way that he didn't share with me. Once I know this, I can suggest breaking down the task into steps so that the required work that gets done first, and then the engineer has time to add things later. Resolving a conflict like this means we have aligned everyone's understanding of each other, which is good because we personally believe most conflicts happen due to misunderstandings, and it helps us work better together. If it weren't for the conflict, we might not have known we were out of alignment until something disruptive happened. The second thing we have to learn is to keep an eye out for escalation. Making conflict work for us and improving team dynamics requires understanding how things can escalate. And there are many reasons why this happens, such as our tendency as humans to turn off our logical brains and get emotional. Team members can get so focused on their issues that they can't see their teammates' needs or preferences. Sometimes someone just wants to be petty. They know what you want and still act like they don't understand. Conflicts also escalate differently depending on who is involved. Each group requires a different approach to resolve. For example, there can be two team members who need you to mediate between them. These team members can start involving others, turning them into teams that support one person or the other. Sometimes you have a conflict with someone and find it hard to reach a neutral solution. The last case requires the most patience and skill. It can also happen that no one wants to admit that there is a conflict. Instead of addressing the issue openly, people can be passive aggressive or give each other the silent treatment. But even with these differences, many of the principles for managing conflicts are similar. You need to clear up misunderstandings, address people's needs and feelings, and keep an eye on the big picture. As a manager, it is our job to think about the team as a whole and bring people into alignment. When conflicts emerge, it is best to see them as an opportunity to enrich your team dynamics. The third thing we need to learn is to cool down and think. Conflict makes us emotional. Our rational brains often shut off when we get worked up about something. It becomes harder to see both sides, and little issues start feeling like the end of the world. But fighting takes more energy than stepping back and thinking critically about the situation, even if this means walking away frustrated or disappointed. Um, as an emotional manager, you can help your team members resist this tendency by asking both sides to step back for a moment, maybe take time to grab a coffee, reminding people of their more rational selves. I know you like to think about things carefully. Let's take a look at both sides here. Remind them it's okay to make mistakes so that they feel less anxious about possibly being wrong, making it easier for them to admit such. It is much harder when you're on one side of the conflict yourself because you cannot defend your interests like other people can. After all, you're not just anyone. Unlike your team members, it's your responsibility to take care of the whole team, even the person you're in conflict with. If you find it difficult, ask to take a quick break or bring in another manager to mediate. This does get better over time, and we will learn to keep our cool with practice like first responders. The fourth thing we need to learn is understanding the misunderstanding. Think about front-end and back-end engineers, or really anyone with a different role. They work together but approach projects with different perspectives. Certain issues will be more obvious to one than the other, which means they can easily misunderstand the other's intentions or approach. This can lead to disagreement over the best way forward, especially if people are under pressure from a deadline. Arguments can get personal, and the situation can pass the point of no return and require a manager to come in to help. One of the worst things we can do is judge the situation by the way people are communicating. You have to dig deeper to get to why people hold their positions. In my opinion, what we will find more often than not is a misunderstanding. Our best tool here is precise, pointed questions. When people are heated, they often talk in generalizations such as "this is never done this way" or "this is never going to work." It's your job to ask questions to clarify what exactly they mean, such as when does something not work? What needs to be done to avoid the problem? Is it always like this or just in this case? Remember that while being the manager gives you the big picture, you won't see every important detail. So whenever you feel satisfied you have gotten to the bottom of a dispute, share how you see things out loud. That way the people involved can confirm if you understood the situation correctly. And the fifth thing we need to learn is to translate people's concerns. Keep in mind, not all team members, let alone all engineers, have good communication skills. Some people need help communicating what they need to someone else, even when there is no argument involved. So once you have understood the situation and have a good idea of the needs of the different sides, it is up to you to help them understand each other. As the manager, as you being the manager, you should have a good understanding of the personalities on your team. You know their individual quirks and how they may behave in a conflict. This gives you insight when you try to translate one side's needs and communicate them in a way the other side understands. For example, a designer may be interested in the user experience, while an engineer may care most about the code that is quick to write and doesn't break. It is their job to explain to one another how quick, unbreakable code benefits users, or how the project makes no sense unless people can actually use the product. And it is your job to help if they fail to teach them how to communicate better in general. If emotions still run hot, ask that communication between the sides to happen through you. Ask them to explain to you why they want something done in a specific way, and make sure each understands the stakes involved for the other. If they word something is biased or offensive way, rephrase it so that it is not. When things cool down, you can go back to a more direct communication style. And the sixth thing we need to learn is know what to do when you aren't neutral. Mediating or translating people's needs is always easier when the conflict involves others. It is no less important when you are involved in the conflict, but it is much trickier. Regardless, repeat all the steps listed above. Take a minute to calm down first. Ask questions to figure out any misunderstandings. Translate your concerns into a language that the other easily understands. Think of yourself as not one side against the other, but as a mediator between your understanding and theirs. But no, this only works when you have a sincere desire to mediate between yourself and the other party. Remember, if you speak to convince instead of to be understood, they will know. If this happens, the other side could feel attacked or manipulated. They may feel the need to defend themselves even more, given that you are a manager and they're just an engineer. They will continue to shut down, and in the future, they may not believe you have their best interest at heart. My best advice is to be ready to lose sometimes. Model things like being humble, finding compromise, and admitting mistakes. It may feel like no one will respect you after this, but often it is the very opposite. Um, in my opinion, humility and openness to compromise builds trust and shows our team's value groups success over saving face. This improves team relationships and builds a culture where it is safe to discuss mistakes as well as successes. The short version: focus on problems and not people. In all these conflicts, as well as others we face at work, we need to be focused on the issues at hand and not on the people caught up in them. We all get hijacked by emotions, have misunderstandings, and get caught up in the moment. But on the job, we're united by our common purpose as a team, and that makes us allies. As an engineering manager, it is your job to raise above the emotions and think about how conflicts can serve you and your team. Even though they're complicated to address, they bring up otherwise hidden dynamics that are better to resolve now before they explode and make things worse. Here are some ways to do this. Understand that conflict is a gift. Keep an eye on how a conflict escalates. Help people, yourself included, take a step back and calm down. Understand where the misunderstandings are. Translate the needs, feelings, and experiences of one side to the other. Remember that your primary loyalty is to your team and not to your personal interests. Do these things and you have much better chance of making conflict work for you instead of against you. And with this said, I will be ending this presentation, And I'm coming back to the beginning of this presentation where I told you that my name is Paul Arsov, and I'm the founder of Decentralized Web Project, and I work on several other projects that I want to mention. The first project that I want to mention is the Decentralized Web Project. We're building a decentralized communication and advertising platform, and this project is supposed to get monetized through advertising. The second project that I want to mention is the 3D NFT project, where we have a marketplace and collection of NFTs based on three-dimensional objects. With three-dimensional objects, they have to be special software which loads and displays the three-dimensional object. And from the very beginning of our project, we have built our own 3D software engine, and what it does it reads the file of the 3D NFT, then it opens a window on a computer screen. It displays the 3D NFT on this screen, and it starts animating the 3D NFT in a way of moving it in a random fashion around the window it did open. But in addition to these basic capabilities of loading, displaying, and animating, the 3D software engine has multiple additional capabilities. The first additional capability of the 3D NFT is the capability of speaking. The 3D NFT can speak in one of three basic voices. The 3D NFT can speak either in a male voice or in a female voice or in a whisper kind of a voice. In addition to the three basic voices, there are three different flavors of voices. A voice can be spoken in a normal speed manner, or in a fast speed manner, or in a slow speed manner. So if we take a male voice and it is spoken in a slow speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a masculine person or the voice of an old person. So if on the other hand we take a female voice and it is spoken in a fast speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a little girl or the voice of a funny person. The next additional important capability is the capability of voice recognition. The 3D NFTs can recognize voice commands, and if we have a 3D NFT moving in a random fashion, being animated around the screen, we can then issue our very first voice command to the 3D NFT to stop moving. And then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. We can issue following voice commands to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each one of these separate voice commands and move left, then move right, move up, then move down, come closer, zoom in, go further away, zoom out, and start rotating. The next additional important capability of the 3D NFTs is the capability of them having a basic artificial intelligence. You can ask the 3D NFT, what is your name? And then the 3D NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT, who are you? And then the 3D NFT is going to reply with who they are. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something. For example, describe Web3 or describe decentralization or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to reply in few sentences about Web3, decentralization, or the country called Russia. Um, the last but not least important capability of the 3D NFTs is the capability of them being displayed in a way of stereoscopics. Stereoscopics means that part of the 3D NFT will be displayed in red or reddish colors, and another part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or bluish colors. Then you, the user, can come to the website of the 3D NFT marketplace, and probably now is the time to tell you the name and the URL of this site. It is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is typed in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters NFT, and it is all together 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are two words, decentralized and web, and they're all together, decentralized web, and then there is dot and it ends with org. Once again, 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. On the top of the main page and every other page, you see a number of links. One of these links points to a link to accessories. When you click on this link, you're going to see that we are offering special glasses, and when you receive these glasses, you're going to see that one lens of these glasses is red and the other lens of these glasses is blue. Then you can put these glasses on. You can request displaying the 3D NFTs in a way of stereoscopics, and then you're going to see the 3D NFT coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see it in real 3 dimensions. With this said, I'm ending talking about the 3D software engine and our collection, but I like to mention our 3D NFT marketplace. In our marketplace, we have our own blockchain instance, and it runs Ethereum software. It is the same software which runs on Ethereum mainnet, on Binance Smart Chain, on Avalanche AVAX chain, on Polygon Matic chain, and on many other famous and not so famous blockchains. In addition, by having our blockchain instance, then we do not charge our users gas fees for deployments of the smart contracts for the non-fungible tokens, and we do not charge our users gas fees for transactions of transfer of ownership from one user to another user. By having our own blockchain instance, then we're detaching the 3D NFTs from a specific crypto coin, and we allow buying and then receiving proceedings from sale in multiple crypto coins. Currently, the choices include Solana Sol, Polygon Matic, Avalanche AVAX, and Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to buying and selling with crypto, we have a second parallel and independent way of buying and receiving proceedings from sale, and it is done entirely in fiat currency. So let's say you are the user, you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you browse through the collections, you see an NFT you like, then you click and go through the process. In the process, you're going to be asked to put the number of your debit or credit card, and when you complete the process, what happens is there's going to be a transfer, and the payment is going to be converted from your national fiat currency to US dollars, and it is going to be deposited in our bank account. Then we are going to transfer the initial ownership from our 3D NFT marketplace to you, and now you become the current user of this 3D NFT. So let's say there's a second user which comes to our 3D NFT marketplace, and let's say that you played with this 3D NFT for a while, then you put this 3D NFT for sale, and you put the specific price that you want to sell it for. And let's say the second user who came to this 3D NFT marketplace, they browse, they see your 3D NFT, they go through the same process of choosing to buy either with crypto or the fifth choice of paying with fiat currency. So let's say they select paying with fiat currency, and then they go through the same process of where they put their number of their debit or credit card, expiration date, CVC, and when they complete the transaction, there's going to be a transfer and conversion from the national fiat currency of the second user, which could be different than your national fiat currency, and this transaction is going to be converted to US dollars and deposited in our bank account. We're going to follow this with transaction and transfer of ownership from you to the second user, and now the second user becomes owner of this 3D NFT. And then we are going to make a third action and a transfer from our bank account to your bank account, and the transfer is going to be converted from US dollars to your national fiat currency, and going to deposit the payment for the sale of the 3D NFT in fiat currency. So with this said, I'm ending talking about this second project that we work on. I like to mention the third project that we work on, and it is related with electric vehicles. With electric vehicles, currently the charging of electric vehicles is handled in a way similar to the way internal combustion engines are loaded with fuel. Internal combustion engines vehicles, they come to gas stations, they connect a hose to their vehicle, they start loading gas, they pay for the gas loaded, and then they leave. In the same way, there are locations where electric vehicles can come. They can connect the electric cable to their vehicle, they can start loading electric energy, they can pay for the purchase, and then they are leaving. But with the exponential growth of electric vehicles, we consider that the number of charging stations for electric vehicles is going to become insufficient to charge the exponential growing number of electric vehicles. So we are building products, and we are proposing so-called parking lot model, where charging of electric vehicles can be done at the location of where the specific user is living. If they live in a high-rise building which has a parking lot on the ground floor or multiple underground floors of parking lot. And then the user when they come in the evening, they can leave their vehicle, they can connect a cable to their electric vehicle and leave it to charge during the evening, night, and early morning. But users of owners of electric vehicles, if they work in high-rise buildings or high-rise office buildings, and these buildings have ground floor parking lot or multiple underground floors of parking lot, in the same way they can, when they come to work and leave their vehicle in the parking lot of the office building, they can connect electric cable to their vehicle, they can start charging, and they can leave their vehicle charging during the morning, afternoon, and maybe early evening while they're at work. With this said, I like to mention the type of product that we're making. It is high current and high voltage electric switch, and this switch, the product also includes wireless communication, so that this charging station can communicate with other charging stations and communicate with a central location. The product also includes near field communication reader, where the user can identify themselves either with their debit or credit card, or token, which could be placed in a keychain, or like near field communication card, which could be initialized for the specific user, or the user can wear a near field communication ring where they can identify themselves to the charging station. The product that we're building has capabilities of calculating the electric energy the electric vehicle did consume and get loaded with, and then we have the capability of charging the account of the user, or reporting the charge to the other other facility or other location, so that the user can make payment for the energy they got loaded in their electric vehicle. But probably the most important thing of and capability of this electric charger is to report the energy to a central location, and this central location could be either our website, or it could be the power utility. And why this is important? This is important because the electric utilities, they at every moment they have to balance the production of electric energy with consumption of electric energy. If there is some disbalance between production and consumption, this can lead to wasted energy inefficiency, or it can lead to blackouts and turning off some specific neighborhoods or whole cities, so that the energy can get balanced. With this said, I like to mention the website and the URL of this project. It is power.arstech.com. Power is the ordinary word for power, then there's dot, then there's a word which I can spell it letter by letter. It is Alpha, Romeo, Sierra, Tom, Echo, Charlie, Hotel. Altogether, it is RStack. Then there is dot, and it ends with com. You can see in the website that we did release 3 different surveys. One of these surveys is about the hardware, one of them is about the software, and the third one is about features and capabilities. You can fill these surveys and tell us if you want specific product, or you want to have a specific product customized to fit your needs. And we also released an article which describes the way of gas station model versus parking lot model. You can read this article and get all of the details of what I did explain in brief right now. With this said, I'm ending talking about this project, and I want to mention the last project that we work on. The last project is related with and it is called intelligent devices. It builds devices which get there added multiple pieces of technologies so that these devices can move. They have a vision, they can recognize objects, they can take certain actions, and they have the capability of movement. But probably the most important feature of these devices is their autonomy. When they get certain task given, they can fulfill this task autonomously without human asking human what to do, or without human controlling them step by step. Still, a human can monitor what is happening with one or multiple devices at the same time, but devices are going to act independently and possess basic intelligence to be called intelligent devices. With this said, I like to mention that currently we work on 2 specific products. One of them is called scanning camera. It is ordinary camera together with processing unit, but the interesting thing of this camera is that the camera can move from 0 to 180 degrees and scan their environment. They can scan their environment either in a slow speed manner or in a fast speed manner, and either in gradually or in discrete movement. The second product that we're working on is mobile unit, which are going to move around the room by themselves, and they have a vision capability, they can recognize objects, and they can take specific action based on what the task user, the supervisor or the user, gave to the specific intelligent device. We do not have yet a website for this project, but we're going to shortly build and release this website for this specific project. With this said, I'm ending this presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and goodbye.